We all kind of just go through life, right? And we assume we know how things work, especially when it comes to, like, the law. But have you ever really stopped to think about what your legal rights really are? I mean, the basic ones. It's not something we think about every day,
No, not at all.
but it's actually super important.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's kind of like knowing the rules of a game. You can play without knowing them, but you're going to be way better off if you do.
Exactly. And you're less likely to be, like, taken advantage of.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And that's kind of what we're looking at today. We've got this script. It's from a Know Your Rights video. It's all about understanding basic legal rights for citizens. So think of this as your crash course, like how to get up to speed on this stuff quickly.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so let's jump right in. The script starts with this big idea, equality.
Yeah, and it's not just some like abstract idea, the idea that everyone's equal under the law. It's like it's the foundation for, a fair society. And if we think about it, historically, the fight for equality has been, well, it's been a long road. It's always evolving.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So even though it's like written down, how it's actually applied well, it's been debated and redefined over time, especially when it comes to groups who have been marginalized. So it's not this fixed thing. It's more like we're always trying to get closer.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the script, it actually gets into specifics about, what this protection from discrimination actually looks like. It lists things like race, religion, gender, nationality,
Right.
or social status as things where, unequal treatment just isn't allowed.
Right. And it's important to really understand what they mean by social status there.
So when they say social status, what are they actually talking about?
Well, it can be things like uh, your job, how much money people think you have,
Oh, okay.
your standing in the community, that kind of stuff.
I see.
It's basically saying none of that should matter when it comes to the law. Everyone should be treated the same.
Interesting. And it's not just like a nice idea.
Oh, no.
The script actually points out where it matters in real life.
Exactly. It has real consequences. Like, can you get a job? Can you get an education? Can you use public services
Right.
without being treated unfairly because of those things we talked about?
Right. It's about making sure everyone has a real chance. Okay, so let's move on a bit. The script then talks about, well, something we hear about all the time, freedom of speech and expression.
Yeah. It's basically being able to say what you think without being, worried.
Right, without fear.
Exactly. But it's, well, there are limits to it, right? It's not completely free.
Yeah, and that's what's so important to remember.
Yeah.
The script makes it clear that things like hate speech, threats, or spreading misinformation, like none of that is protected.
It's a big distinction, and it's a tricky one.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, even courts and legal experts, they're constantly arguing about where the line is, especially now with the internet and everything.
That's true.
So the idea is, freedom of speech comes with responsibilities. Like the script says, it's about having real conversations, not about hurting people or lying to them. That part about always use your voice responsibly, that's such a crucial reminder.
I agree. All right, let's dig into something else. Something that feels, I don't know, kind of personal for everyone, the right to privacy. The script talks about this in terms of like our homes, our phones, our personal data, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the key thing here is control. Like you get to decide what happens with your stuff and your information.
Right.
And that part about personal data that's really important now with, computers and the internet, everything's online these days.
It is.
So, yeah, privacy matters a lot.
It does. And the script says there's this condition for anyone to access that private stuff. A legal reason.
Right.
What would that even be?
Well, it could be like a warrant from a judge if they think you've committed a crime.
Oh, okay.
Or a subpoena for a court case, stuff like that.
Okay.
The point is there has to be a good reason, a legal reason, for the government or even companies to get into your stuff.
Right. It's like a protection against, I don't know, just random snooping.
Exactly.
So the script also talks about what happens if you're accused of a crime.
Oh, yeah.
It mentions the right to a lawyer and to have a fair trial. That seems like a really basic part of any justice system.
Oh, it's huge. And if you think about the bigger picture, it's all about making sure the legal system is fair.
Right.
And that the government doesn't just have all the power.
That's a good point.
Innocent until proven guilty. That's really important.
Yeah. And the script says you can't be forced to confess. And if you can't afford a lawyer, they have to give you one.
That's right. It's about making things fair for everyone, no matter how much money they have.
And it's about having someone who, like, understands the law.
Exactly. Someone to help you through it all.
Okay, so building on that, the script talks about protection from being arrested for no reason. Like, they can't just arrest you, right?
No, no, there has to be a good like they have to think you actually did something wrong.
Okay, so there needs to be, like, a reason.
Yeah, it's called probable cause. Like, based on what they know, it's reasonable to think a crime happened.
I see.
Like, imagine a cop sees someone running from a store with a bag, and that person looks like the robber they're looking for.
Okay, yeah,
That would be a good reason to arrest them.
that makes sense. So it's about preventing random arrests, right? Protecting people.
Exactly.
Okay, and the script then says if you are arrested, you have the right to know what you're being charged with, the right to remain silent, and the right to call a lawyer. It seems like that advice to always ask for legal help, that's really important in that moment.
Oh, it's crucial. Being arrested is super stressful.
Yeah,
And knowing your rights, getting a lawyer as soon as possible, that can really change how things go.
right. Okay, let's switch gears a bit. Let's talk about a different kind of right, the right to vote and to participate in, how our country is run. It's about having a say in what happens.
Yeah, and it's like it connects our individual right with what's good for everyone. It's how we influence things, how we hold our leaders accountable.
Right, it's about more than just, like myself,
Exactly.
about all of us.
Exactly.
So the script says that elections are how we choose the people who are supposed to represent us.
Right.
And it's easy to feel like your one vote doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
but together, all of our votes, that's how we shape things.
Absolutely. And it's easy to take that right for granted, but we shouldn't. Like the script says, make your voice count. Not everyone in the world gets to do that, you know?
That's a good point. All right, the script also talks about access to things like education and health services. It calls those basic rights in a lot of countries.
And that shows like a commitment to people, you know? It's saying everyone deserves a chance to be healthy and to learn.
Right. It's not just something you buy if you can afford it.
Yeah, exactly. It's about dignity, about opportunity, about having a society that works.
Right. So the script talks about the government's responsibility to provide those things, education and healthcare, to everyone. That's a big deal.
It is. It means making sure those things are available and that everyone can get to them.
Okay, so lastly, the script gets into what to do if you think your rights have been violated. And it's pretty clear, don't just stay quiet.
Yeah, knowing your rights is important, but the script goes further. It tells you what to do if something happens.
Like, what can you actually do?
Well, you can report it to the authorities. You can get legal help, talk to a lawyer.
Right.
You can also reach out to human rights groups. They can give you support.
So there are people to turn to.
Exactly. You're not alone. And like the script says, knowing your rights empowers you.
Yeah, it gives you the power to stand up for yourself, right?
Exactly. It's not just about knowing them, it's about using them.
So just to, recap, we've talked about the right to be treated equally no matter who you are, freedom of speech, and the responsibility that comes with it, the right to privacy for ourselves and our information,
Right.
protection from unfair arrest, the power we have through voting, and access to education and healthcare. Plus, what to do if your rights are violated. That's a lot to cover, even just from this one script.
And, it's important to see how all these rights connect, right? They're all part of a system that's meant to protect us, keep things fair, and let us participate in our democracy.
The script ends with this really powerful line: an informed society is a strong society. Like, it's not just about us as individuals. Knowing this stuff makes our whole society better.
That's right. When people know their rights, they can participate more, hold those in power accountable, and makes things more just and fair for everyone.
So here's something to think about after hearing all of this. How does knowing about these rights change how you see yourself? Like, what are your responsibilities in your community and in the bigger picture? It's worth taking some time to consider how this knowledge might change how you see the world and how you interact with it every day.
I agree. It's definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
How does knowing your rights change things? That's a good question.
Yeah.